Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another closer look in this epic Halloween month. Hope you're all enjoying everything so far. Lots more to come. We're only halfway. Wow. All right. So, I figured since one of the big focuses this year is the Universal Monsters collections, I thought we'd take a closer look at some of the recent ones I picked up. Specifically, Dracula and Frankenstein. Now, I know I've talked about these a little bit before, but I thought we'd get an up-close look at them. And just because we're on the subject, I figured we'd take an encore look at the original 2004 releases as well. Plus, maybe we'll talk about some of the other versions of these sets that have emerged over the years. So let's talk about Dracula and Frankenstein, the Legacy Collections, today on A Closer Look on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, of course, the original Legacy Collections came out way back in 2004, at the time kind of as a tie-in with the Van Helsing movie. So we had the Dracula set, the Frankenstein set, and the Wolfman set, which, as you can probably guess, we'll take a look at next week. And then later on, we got three more sets, namely The Mummy, The Invisible Man, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. So overall, a great collection because it was actually the first time a lot of the movies in these sets were made available outside of the realm of VHS. So it was pretty cool. Also, just to have them all together in one collection. So you had Dracula and all its sequels, Frankenstein, all its sequels, the Wolfman, and well, there weren't really any sequels to the Wolfman, but the Wolfman and then all the Monster Mash movies and stuff like that, all the Mummy movies together. It was just great to have them all collected together for the first time like that. And obviously popular because these sets have been re-released a few times over the years. First there was these sets here, the Dracula and Frankenstein, but then we had the DVD editions of the Blu-ray sets, which basically, as you can see, is the exact same covers. There's been some complaints from fans about the Frankenstein cover, because apparently, we got Boris Karloff's face, but apparently on sort of photoshopped onto Glenn Strange's body. So, kind of strange. Oh, wow. No, I did not mean to make that pun. Sorry. That was awful. So, and then in addition to that, between those releases, so we had the Legacy Collection, then we had the 75th anniversary release of both Dracula and Frankenstein. Now, these were not re-releases of the Legacy Collections. These were strictly of the first movies, but really beautiful deluxe editions. And also notable in that, Dracula in particular, is that it actually restored some of the censored bits. In particular, I think it's when Dracula gets staked by Van Helsing at the end. In this version, it's still missing a few of Dracula's moans as he's dying, whereas the 75th anniversary collection actually restored that. And since then, that's become the normal cut that we always get on every subsequent release, which is good, because I think in 2017 we can handle a few extra groans. Alrighty, well, that's basically your encapsulated history. Other than that, there's also this set, which I've talked about briefly, which is the complete Universal Monsters collection, which basically contains every movie from the Legacy set, plus the Phantom of the Opera. That's the only one that isn't in any of the other Legacy sets. Speaking of which, I need to pick that one up. I need to get that one, because obviously there isn't going to be a collection for it, because there's only one movie, and it's like kind of the one stray from the Legacy sets that I don't have. And then, of course, we had the first Blu-ray release, which was just a collection of the 8 sort of main ones, like the first movies. Well, with the exception of Frankenstein, because we've got Bride of Frankenstein, because it basically goes together with the first one. But basically just the collection of 8. It appeared in a few different forms. Here's the Region A release. And then we have the Region B release, which was region free, by the way. So it came out overseas, but if you missed out on the Region A release, which was, I guess it was out of print or just unavailable for a little while anyway. So I know a lot of people picked up the region, like the UK version of the set instead. And then finally, we also had this set, which was pretty cool. This is the big coffin collection. Really, it's strictly packaging. It's there's nothing different on the discs. It's actually just a big box that contains the UK version of the 8 movie set, and that's that. So it's strictly for a cool display piece. But yeah. But now with the Legacy collections actually getting proper Blu-ray releases, it's for the most part rendered that 8 film set redundant. But if you're someone who just wants the main movies and doesn't really care about the sequels so much, then the 8 film set is definitely a good deal to get, because you get a ton of extras. Actually, all of the first discs of these sets are the same as the discs that are in the 8 disc set, or the 8 movie set. And they are also the same as the individual releases of those. Universal has just been repackaging them endlessly over the years. So, alright, now, at last, let's head down to the black box and we'll take a closer look at all these. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the old and then move on to the new. So here's the original Dracula Legacy Collection from 2004. Very, very nice set. I really like how these all look together on the shelf. Very, very nice. As you can see, just freaking loaded with extras. This is a beautiful, beautiful set. So if we just slide it out, you'll see that it's a partly transparent case. So we get, some rocky crags there. Oh, and look at this. An ad for the Legacy collections right there. And we get all the listings of the movies on the back of the sheet. Very, very nice. I forgot that it had these sheets in it, actually. It's been a while since I've gone into these. So if we take a look, it's basically in the form of a book, like a plastic, sort of a digibook. You know, and we open it up. It basically pops open. Oh, and look at that. We got a movie ticket for Van Helsing. Pretty sure that's not valid anymore. I don't think it's in theaters anymore. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, so here we have a single-sided disc, which has Dracula, and also includes the Spanish version of Dracula. And then the good old, where's the edge here? The good old double-sided, dual-layer disc for the rest of the movies. So, yeah, I've never had problems with this one. It's pretty, been pretty stable, and we got some nice artwork underneath. So yeah, I mean, pretty classy sets, to be honest. I definitely like them. I just wish they hadn't used the double-sided discs. That's really my only complaint about these. And if we slide this in. And then, did we do the back there? There we go. We got the disc contents there. Oh, and the brides of Dracula. Very cool. Gotta love those sexy vampire ladies. Oh yeah. Oh, you want to nibble on me? Sure, why not? I'm game. Just be gentle. Well, maybe a little rough. So there you go. So then in terms of extras, what do we have here? We have, so it includes the original Spanish, includes Dracula from 1931, the original Spanish version of Dracula from 1931, Dracula's Daughter from 1936, Son of Dracula from 1943, and House of Dracula from 1945. So basically every movie that Dracula appeared in. Actually, not every movie, because it doesn't include House of Frankenstein. Yeah, this one, we'll talk about this in a moment here, but this one does not have any overlap between the Legacy collections. Each set has different movies. So then we've got Van Helsing director Stephen Sommers hosts an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how these original Dracula films inspired his motion picture event. Yeah, see, it's got the Van Helsing guy talking about it. These were originally released as a tie-in with that. Philip Glass's brilliant new score to Dracula, performed by the Kronos Quartet on an alternate audio track, enhances the original film in 5.1 surround. I have never actually listened to that. I think I listened to the first 5 minutes of it. I love Philip Glass's music. I really enjoyed his scores for Kundun and Koyanis Katsi. Just amazing, amazing music. Introduction to the Spanish version of Dracula by star Lupita Tovar. The Road to Dracula, an original documentary on the making of the film. Film historian David J. Scull provides insightful commentary to the film on an alternate audio track. Dracula original poster and photo gallery. Newly remastered audio track for maximum clarity, and original theatrical trailers for all films. So this is pretty deluxe. So I mean, not only were we getting all the sequels together for the first time, but we were getting an absolute wealth of extras, far beyond anything we'd ever had before. Then if we, let's take a look at the Dracula Blu-ray set now, and we'll see kind of how it compares. So this is the Blu-ray set. This is the same cover art that was used for the DVD re-release of the Legacy Collection. Now this one, they configured things a little bit differently. So it's got all the films that were in the original Dracula set, but it also includes House of Frankenstein and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. So this one, with the new Legacy sets, you have a definitive compendium of every single appearance of that particular monster, even if that means certain films are duplicated across the various Legacy sets, which they are. So bonus features, we have the 1931 Spanish version of Dracula, The Road to Dracula, Lugosi, The Dark Prince, that one's new, the Dracula Archives, which I'm guessing is the photo gallery, alternate Dracula score by Philip Glass, Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters, 3 feature commentaries, production photographs, and theatrical trailers. Oh, I guess the Dracula Archives is something else. It's, I guess, more featurettes or something like that. If we take a look on the back there, very nice. This one slides out a little more easily, and then inside we just have a standard Blu-ray keep case. All the same contents there. I've never seen these without the box. It just seems to be the standard way they offer them. And then here we've got a little bit more information, running time and subtitles and whatever for each individual film. This first disc is the same for the individual release. It's also the same in the 8-movie Essential Collection. So second disc we have Dracula's Daughter and Son of Dracula. I mean, this is clear as day what's on these discs. This is great. Then we have the House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. And then finally, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which, by the way, is the last time Bela Lugosi played Dracula in a Universal horror movie. So, pretty cool. First time he came back for the Universal ones. He did play other vampire characters in other movies, but that was the first time, actually the one and only time he came back as Dracula for Universal. And then we have the Frankenstein Legacy Collection, a little bit dusty, been a while. We'll just redo that. Then we have the Frankenstein Legacy Collection, very, very nice. Love this. This was actually the first time I had seen a lot of the sequels. I didn't realize there were quite so many. And I love that they actually did these as a continuing story. I mean, right through to the Monster Mash movies. It's great stuff. So Frankenstein was the one that had the most actual sequels. Dracula only had, technically one sequel, which was Daughter of Dracula. So we slide this out. You can see, again, we have the clear... Sorry, let's get the sheet out of there. We have the clear front there. Got some lightning happening up there, and the lab there. Very cool, very nice. Otherwise, kind of flimsy box, but it looks nice. And then we got the list of movies, and just a little blurb about the 3 initial sets. And there we go. So we Take a look at that. Take a look at the back there. Again, disc by disc contents. And we go inside. Oh, look at that. Another ticket for Van Helsing. I can go see it twice. Awesome. And then we have the main disc here for Frankenstein. And then, once again, double-sided dual-layer disc for the sequels. Now, we pop these out. We get a little bit of artwork. Get some of the good Dr. Frankenstein's lab. Very cool. And there we go. Oh, wait a second. Don't want to lose my movie ticket now. That's important. I might want to go see that several times. Alright, so I'm just going to put all this back into the box here. There we go. I just kind of put it all together like that. And it's stuck. There we go. Okay. Ta-da! So if we look at the extras on the back here, so we've got Frankenstein for 1931, Bride of Frankenstein for 1935, Son of Frankenstein for 1939, Ghost of Frankenstein for 1942, and House of Frankenstein from 1944. So with the old Legacy sets, if you wanted all of the crossovers, you had to get, you know, the Dracula. Basically, you had to get all three of the sets. You had the Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Frankenstein sets to get the entire sort of continuing story and crossovers between them. So, Van Helsing director Stephen Sommers hosts an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how these original Frankenstein films inspired his motion picture event. I wonder if that's the exact same featurette, or if it's a different one. I don't know. I haven't watched them in, like, probably 10 years. The Frankenstein Files, How Hollywood Made a Monster, an original documentary. She's Alive, Creating the Bride of Frankenstein, an original documentary. Film historians provide insightful commentary to Frankenstein with Rudy Belmer and Bride of Frankenstein with Scott McQueen on an alternate audio track. Original theatrical trailers plus the 1931, 1938, and 1951 reissued trailers for Frankenstein. Boo, a short film. Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein original poster and photo galleries, and newly remastered audio track for maximum clarity. So there you go. So that's the Frankenstein set. And now if we take a look at the Blu-ray set and see how it compares. There we go. So this, again, much like the Dracula one, this is the same cover art that was used for the DVD re-release of the Legacy sets. And technically it's the same contents too, the main difference being anything that could be upgraded to high def has been upgraded to high def. So all the movies are high def, obviously. As you can see, quite a list of movies on this one. So let's first just slide it on out and we'll take a look. So we just got standard keep case once again. But here, beautiful single-sided discs. So this is the same as the individual release. This is the same as the individual release. Also, both of these discs are in the 8-disc Essential Collection. And then we've got Son of Frankenstein and Ghost of Frankenstein. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula. So you have the entire Monster Mash trilogy on one disc, which is pretty nice to have that all together. You can just marathon the whole thing. And finally, we have Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. And there you go. Very cool. Which, of course, is duplicated on the Dracula set, as are House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. So those three are duplicates. All the rest are unique to this set. So if we take a look on the back at the special features, here I'll let you look at Frankie while I'm reading these off here. The Frankenstein Files, How Hollywood Made a Monster documentary. She's Alive, Creating the Bride of Frankenstein documentary. So those are all carryovers. Karloff, The Gentle Monster, that one's new. Frankenstein Archives, that's new. Bride of Frankenstein Archives, that's new. Boo, a short film. Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters, that's on the Dracula set as well. 4 feature commentaries and theatrical trailers. So there you go. So there's a little bit of carryover, a little bit of new stuff, and I think actually the new stuff isn't particularly new. It's from the re-releases. So there you go. So that is 1 second here. There we go. So there is the I'll go this way. There you go. There is the old. Where are we going? There we go. Ta-da! And The beautiful high-def The New. Alrighty. So there you go. As you can see, pretty much the same contents across all of them. The main reason to get these is just for the high-def upgrade, which is quite an upgrade, might I add. They look fantastic. Yeah, for a while I was toying with getting the re-releases of these, like the DVD versions of these, simply to have the movies on single-sided discs instead of the double-sided discs, because they can be a little finicky sometimes. Universal was notorious for that. But then they announced the Blu-rays, so I was like, well, I'll just get the Blu-rays then. So at this point in time, we're still waiting for an announcement on the Invisible Man and Creature from the Black Lagoon sets, which would complete the Legacy collections. Yeah, so for now, those two are still only available on DVD. Well, I'm sure they'll come out eventually, and when they do, I will finish my double dipping into the Universal Monsters collection. It's great to finally have all these in high def, and the extras on these sets are really terrific too. It's a great look back at some classic monster movies. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next week for another closer look, which you can probably guess what it's going to be, but we'll see you then. So until then, thanks for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors, and sayonara.